The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets put the pads on today and had a live tackling drill. Plus, Justin Fields was out there for 11 on 11. We'll talk about that and much more when Jets reporter Nick Faria joins us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Training camp continues, and so does our show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, AG's first training camp with the New York Jets is underway. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quentin Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Monday, second show on the day. If you missed the first one, listen to it back, perhaps in audio form. That's right, this show and every show you watch live on YouTube is available as a podcast. Just search Jake Asman Show wherever you get your podcast, and you could listen to the show in its entirety, not have to deal with any YouTube ads for anyone who prefers the audio version of the show. With that said, let's say hello to Jets reporter for JetsXFactor.com, Nick Faria. Nick, always appreciate your time, my friend. Training camp underway. Pads were on today. It does feel like football is really coming back now.
It's great to be back, both on the field and off it. Let's put it that way. So great to be back on.
So a lot to talk about from this practice alone today, and then just the first week of training camp for the Jets. Let's start with the big thing. Justin Fields was out there in 11 on 11. So he was not fully back. They kept him out of some stuff. They didn't have him take every single rep with the ones. But it does sound like he continues his progression, his recovery. And let's be real, if there was a game that needed to be played tomorrow, he'd be out there. So I think that's, of course, a great sign for every Jet fan.
Yeah, it's pretty early. No really need to worry about that at all. He'll be back 100%, I would assume, by the first preseason game, although I don't think he's going to play in that. So that all needs to be taken into account. But, yeah, listen, seeing him back on the field, the way that I put it, and I've talked to different reporters, this offense is being tailor-made for him. And when you have that, you need to make sure that he is healthy to run said offense. They've got a really good backup in Tyrod Taylor that they trust that can run a similar system. But by and large, this team is going to go as Justin Fields will go. So great to see him back on the field. I thought he was fantastic in short spurts on Saturday during 7-on-7. Now that the pads come on, we'll see if he can continue that development into a franchise quarterback.
Justin Fields being out there, certainly notable. The other takeaways is the pads were on. A live tackling session for the Jets. Glenn saying afterwards, you can't be afraid of injuries. We got to practice what we're actually going to do during games. What did you make of those comments, and what did you make of what you heard and of course, what you've been seeing from the Jets as they ramp up to this moment where the pads came on today?
Yeah, kind of two-pronged, right? So I think the first part, they were doing something similar on Saturday, obviously without the pads. So they're focusing on the fundamentals. They're focusing on the fundamentals of tackling and wrapping up and making sure that you're in the right position at all times. Very similar to what they did in Detroit. And for a team like the Jets that struggled so much in open field tackling last year, it makes a lot of sense. You go through all of that. It really was the only thing that they could do for further preparation going into the 2025 season. The other part of this, and I think people will be concerned because it's full pads. If you do this consistently, you're going to worry about injuries. You're going to have to deal with all these other different things. And Aaron Glenn kind of pushed that off. And to me, what that compared to was Mike Tomlin in 2007. When Mike Tomlin was first hired as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were 2 years removed from a Super Bowl championship. And Ben Roethlisberger, a lot of the leaders on the team all openly said that it was one of the toughest practices, toughest training camps they ever had. And a big part of that, the players said, was because that this was Mike Tomlin essentially saying that this was not Bill Cowher's team anymore. This was his team. that's kind of where that I look at this kind of drill and what the purpose of this drill, outside of just the tackling. This is to show that this is Aaron Glenn's team. This is not a team that is focused on the losing. This is not a team that's focused on any of the past coaches that have happened for the Aaron Rodgers of the world. None of that matters. This is Aaron Glenn's team. And I think that drill, that kind of mindset, yeah, it may lead to more injuries going into the 2025 season, but it also shows that this team is Aaron Glenn's, and there is nowhere else they can question it.
Rich Cimini reported this is the first time the Jets have done a live tackling drill since Rex Ryan was the head coach in 2010. That's pre-new CBA. So a lot different now. You can't get away with as much physicality at practices as you could then, but Glenn's an old school guy, and he said this will not be the last time they tackle in camp. According to Rich Cimini's observations, the biggest hits today were delivered by safeties Tony Adams, Andre Sisco, and Jarius Monroe, plus rookie Malachi Moore was impressive as well. Glenn even highlighted him after the practice as a player he's been impressed with that's competing for a starting spot. And then on the flip side, Garrett Wilson and Tyler Johnson juked their would-be tacklers with slippery open field moves, end quote. I love it. We also had O-line versus D-line one-on-one matchup. So physicality is back, at least for the day at One Jets Drive.
Listen, it worked with Rex Ryan for those first 2 years before the new CBA came in. And a lot of people looked and they said that the lockout really hurt a team like the Jets because they had made so many different changes back in 2011. Part of the reason why they weren't able to meet those expectations over the last 2 years. So I think the lockout really affected Rex Ryan and his ability to run a physical camp. And it kind of hurt them along the way. They were never really able to recover. So, yeah, the first inkling of this, again, with Aaron Glenn, the early returns are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. He's a guy that's focused on the details, focused on the fundamentals. It's what you want to see out of a young head coach and a young coaching staff in general. So all that takes into account. I think a lot of people have been pleased with what Aaron Glenn has shown. On the defensive side, listen, the safety room, I think, can be a lot better than people expect. I mean, most people expect this to be one of the weaker units on the roster, potentially in the NFL. But Andre Sisco has had some really good practices that I've seen. Tony Adams has been sort of the unspoken vocal leader, if you will, over the last few practices. So all that also has to be taken into account. And then Malachi Moore, it's been pretty quiet for him over the first week or so of camp. But today really standing out in a positive way. So listen, the safety room, the competition is not over. And I think that is the one thing we have learned pretty hard today.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. If you missed the first show today, we did announce the two winners in our AsmanJake weekly raffle. Here's the top prize in raffle number 34 as we continue our series of weekly raffles dating back to December 1st. How about a signed Broadway Joe Namath jersey as our top prize? Prize number 2, a signed football by Brick to Brickishaw Ferguson. So those are the top 2 prizes in the weekly raffle so far. And let's do a daily giveaway. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a Jermaine Johnson jersey? We will raffle away at the end of the show. Gift channel memberships to be eligible to win. Phantom Green and White is the first to join that raffle at the end of the stream. So a JJ jersey we will raffle away at the end. Shout out to all the Asmaniacs, all the diehards who are in the chat day in, day out as we continue to talk all things New York Jets. We brought up Rex Ryan. We brought up 2010. How about this? The Jets reportedly brought in Nick Folk for a tryout today. Sign him now. Nick Folk, I looked at his numbers last season. The guy was still excellent. So I don't care if he's 40 years old. Sign him. Let him compete with the thicker kicker. That's fine. But, man, Nick Folk being brought in for a tryout, to me, this would be an awesome signing for the Jets. I don't like the idea of going into the year with inexperience at both kicker and punter. They already cut one of the punters. So, to me, Nick, this is a no-brainer. If Nick Folk, as long as he looked decent in this tryout today, bring back the guy who was on the team the last time the New York Jets went to the playoffs and actually were winning playoff games.
It kind of makes the most sense, right? You kind of look at it and you say, okay, well, 2 rookie kickers, a rookie punter, or young players at general. This is a no-brainer to me. I never really bought into the idea that Mevis or this other kid, Davis, would make the final roster. I thought they always would try to sign someone And again, they may decide to keep him throughout the preseason. We're not really sure. This could very well just be a simple tryout to see if Nick Folk still has it. Maybe keep him in line, maybe keep him focused, keep him on standby in case something happens to either of these two kickers. But by and large, I'm still of the belief the starting kicker for this Jets roster is not on the roster right now. Same thing for punter. I would not be surprised if the Jets go out in the free agent market and sign someone. Maybe it's Folk, maybe it's another punter, whatever it is. We're not exactly sure at this point, but by and large, things stand right now, July 28th on a Monday. Nick Folk coming in for a visit tells you all you need to know about what the Jets think about their two kickers.
Nick Folk last season was 21 of 22 on field goal attempts. In 2023, he was 29 of 30 on field goal attempts. He led the league the last 2 years in field goal percentage made. Had Nick Folk been on the Jets last year, this team probably wins 8 games. Realistically, they probably win 8 games if Nick Folk is their kicker last year. That's how big of an indictment the Jets kicking situation was. They were the worst team in the NFL in field goal percentage, and we all know specifically how many devastating missed kicks Greg Zuerlein obviously was a part of on last year's team. So I'd bring in Nick Folk in a second. Will Parkinson also tweeted out these numbers here. He had a long of 56. That was with the Jets in 2010. But last year he did hit from 56 as well, and he hit from 53 in 2023. He was perfect, 25 of 25 on extra points last year. That's 100%. On extra points in 2023, he was 28 of 30. The Jets aren't finding a better kicker than Nick Folk. So unless he completely fell off a cliff, I'm signing him immediately and let him compete with Mevis. I think Folk will win that job, and then you feel infinitely better about your kicking situation.
And you saw last year how important that could be. It's the difference between making the playoffs and being a 5-win roster in a lot of different ways. So, listen, Folk makes a lot of sense. I am worried about the age. You don't really know when the time comes for a kicker until it happens. That happened with Greg Zuerlein. 2023 is one of the best kickers in football. Everyone thought it was a no-brainer that he was re-signed. And then what happened? He had one of the worst years of his career and really sunk the Jets season, led to Robert Saleh's firing, if you will, after the Denver game. So all of that to be taken in, all of that understands. Listen, Folk's a great player. He's older. We'll see what happens. But certainly the Jets are not 100% on either of these kickers right now.
Ryan McCarthy gifted a channel membership. He is now in the AsmanJake raffle for one. Ryan, thank you. And JD Surf City, your Venmo was received. So he's bypassed the system, but we got him down in the AsmanJake raffle as well. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Quick programming note, I got some radio tonight. I'm on ESPN New York from 7 to 9 and 7 to 9 Eastern. Download the ESPN New York app or listen on 8:80 a.m. And then this upcoming week, I'm in for Michael K from 1 to 3 p.m. on both Thursday and now Friday this week. So a lot of radio coming up for me tonight and then Thursday, Friday later in the week. So be on the lookout for that.
You need a guest. You let me know.
You got it. Nick Faria, man. A reliable Jet reporter that we need on the air. I love it. Nick, some other takeaways I want to discuss with you from today specifically, just reading some notes from Rich Cimini and talking with some people that were there. It really does sound like Andre Cisco has had some camp so far. I am very intrigued on what he can be because he's coming off a down year, but so was basically everyone on the Jaguars last year. This guy's been a good player in the league before. Your thoughts on what you've seen when you were out there from Cisco and what the expectations are for him?
I likened it. So I thought Chuck Clark last year had one of the better practices from a safety that I had seen in the 3 years that I've been on this Jets beat. Andre Cisco on Saturday blew him away. I mean, blew him away. He was absolutely incredible in coverage, picked off 2 passes, one of them in the end zone. Today, even more physical. He looks like a bona fide future at the safety position for the Jets. And I know he's on a 1-year deal, and you're not going to want to pay a safety top money if he's not one of the top guys. But he is one of these players that if he's healthy and if he's in a good scheme, I think you're looking at a Pro Bowl caliber player. I really, really do. He was really good that 1 year in Jacksonville, fell off, but he's a good tackler, really good tackler, far better than a lot of people realize, really good in coverage. All these things are really, really solid from him as a player. And again, if he continues to look like he did in practice on Saturday, he is going to have a big, big year for the Jets.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Some other takeaways from today that I think are worth addressing. The Jets did suffer an injury. Rookie center Gus Hartwig, who's an undrafted free agent from Purdue, was helped off the field with a knee injury. Glenn said afterwards they don't know his status. That's the risk you take when you do have the pads on and there's way more physicality at practice. Just your general thoughts, Nick, on how Aaron Glenn will, of course, try and handle that balance of trying to get his team ready, but making sure they don't beat each other up to the point where you're dealing with so many injuries in camp.
I think it's, listen, they're not going to be tackling to the ground every single day. I would probably hypothesize that maybe they do it once a week, maybe once every couple weeks, and go from there. You know, it's interesting. With the CBA the way it is, they're not allowed to do any of that. So you have to sort of mitigate the inability to tackle all the way to the ground every day and sort of sacrifice some tackling issues then, but also focus on making sure that the fundamentals are there. So that's the balance that Aaron Glenn's got to find. That's the balance that they will find going into this new season, because if they don't, this defense could struggle at times.
Aaron Glenn raved about Braylon Allen today, Nick. He said that he is an awesome teammate, talked about his unselfish attitude. We've also heard Aaron Glenn, and he did it again today, reference Breece being used as a receiver. He referenced Breece being split out wide on a particular play today, and Braylon Allen was out there out of the backfield. Your thoughts on the running back situation, and what are you expecting from Braylon Allen now in his second year? Because it sounds like he's continuing to have a really good training camp.
I think there's a chance that him and Breece Hall split carries. I really, really do. I think Isaiah Davis hasn't exactly stood out positively. He had a bad drop in Saturday's practice. So all that, again, taken into account because it wasn't pads on. But with Braylon Allen, he is a perfect fit for this scheme. I liken him to the David Montgomery role with the Detroit Lions. And you have a guy, you know, Breece Hall is not Jahmyr Gibbs, but you have that kind of player who can go out, catch passes, run some routes, and be an every down player across the field. So I think the Jets are trying to recreate what Detroit has. Breece Hall may not be Jahmyr Gibbs, but it certainly looks like Braylon Allen's a lot like David Montgomery. And that means really that the Jets are going to use him in the future. He's part of their future plans. We can't say that about Breece Hall. We don't know if that's the case with Isaiah Davis, but we can certainly say that about Braylon Allen because it just looks like they are all in on that physical style of running.
Bill Fun, I received your Venmo. You're in the AsmanJake raffle for the Jermaine Johnson jersey at the end of the stream. Thank you very much, Bill. This super chat's from Jedaholic. He wants your take on who wins the QB3 battle. What have you made of Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook from what you've seen, Nick?
If you asked me on last Wednesday, I would have said Adrian Martinez is running away with this job. And then the last couple of days of practice have happened, and Brady Cook has outplayed him exponentially. I mean, the Brady Cook we're seeing now in practice is a completely different player than we saw in off-season activities. I thought there was a chance that Brady Cook wouldn't make it to camp with how poorly he played at times, but he's learned, he's gotten better, and he has moved the football. He's thrown some really pretty passes. He did throw an interception on Saturday, but he has looked like a very good backup quarterback and a prospect, a true project at the position. So no one's expecting him to go out on the field and play in regular season action. But in the preseason, he is certainly showing that he is worthy of consideration for this role. So this is not just Adrian Martinez running away with it anymore. I think Brady Cook has clearly closed the gap.
Michael with an interesting take here. Did you notice that when he praises a player right after he says something like he does still need some work in some things or he's still a work in progress, no big player heads love it?
Yeah, it's the Bill Parcells, right? So it's I'm not going to collar you. I'm going to tell you what you need to improve on. And you're always going to push for perfection and push for perfection. All those things. That's who AG is. That's who Glenn is. That's who he's always been. That's how he's been, how he was coached when he was a player, all those things. So the Jets, I wrote an article about this last night for Jets X Factor, and I kind of broke this down. The way Aaron Glenn teaches, the way Aaron Glenn coaches is such a different style compared to what Robert Saleh and Todd Bowles and all these other guys would react. And I think really it just highlights his ability to understand what each player needs, but also giving them the tools to be able to reach that improvement. Listen, last year, Robert Saleh essentially had to be told to focus on the offense a little bit during the offseason and get involved in the offensive conversation. AG's not like that. He is everywhere on the practice field, talking to players, helping instruct. That's a big difference, and that will go a long way to helping this team rebuild and sort of retool for a potential run.
Nick Faria with us here. You can read his work, jetsxfactor.com. Nick's been at training camp this summer, and we're checking in with Nick after the Jets put the pads on for the first time of the calendar year, first time in the summer, and more to come. Big Cho in the house. He has gifted 1 channel membership. Big Cho, thank you very much. Let's see who got a coveted Asmaniac channel membership from Big Cho. Admiral Average 548 is the recipient there. We got a super chat that cuts the line. This one's from Jordo. He's in the raffle for 2. And Jordo on the first show today, he won himself a G5 jersey, a Garrett Wilson jersey. So Jordo, thank you again for your support. Congrats. He writes in, Braylon Allen running a rough shot today. Business decisions for the opponents, for defenses. Nick Folk is a G. Add a rookie kicker to the practice squad. LFG, NYJ, need that JJ11 jersey. Going 2 for 2 today. Love it, Jordo. As far as Braylon Allen, I agree with you, Nick. I think he's going to play a role right away. And I think Breece is going to be used in a way where he's still on the field when Braylon Allen's out there, because Breece is one of their just best playmakers. So use him as a receiver and allow Justin Fields to have another target like Breece Hall, who, by the way, as good as Breece is, he does need to lock in, not have the drops be a thing. It wasn't a couple years ago. Last year, he had way too many drops. I think he'd admit that. So contract year for Breece, need him to be fully locked in, and let's make the most of what could be his last year with the Jets. We'll see.
Could, probably is. And that's the hard thing. And he mentioned on Saturday talking about it too. As a player going into your final year, he knows he's not getting an extension right now. And he's going to have to prove that he is worthy of a long-term deal moving forward. So this is a big step for Breece Hall, having to split carries. I think it's actually going to help him in the long run because he won't be given the ball 25, 30 times a game. He's going to be given different spots to really help the team out. So I think it's two-pronged. I think the Jets understand that they don't want to wear down Breece Hall early in the season, and also understand that they're probably not going to re-sign him next year because they don't want to pay a running back in a running back by committee offense.
Super chat from Shooter. Hey, Shooter McGavin fans out there. Good to see him back on the big screen. You know what? I don't want to spoil the Happy Gilmore movie for those who haven't seen it, but
I enjoyed it.
What are we doing with Shooter's character? He should be the ultimate villain in the movie. I didn't like what they did with him, but I don't want to spoil things.
I would probably agree with you, but I enjoyed what I saw from that movie. Again, cheesy, a lot of innuendos, a lot of, okay, where the hell is this going? But I thought it could have been a lot worse.
It definitely could have been a lot worse. I don't think it's the worst movie ever, like some have said on the internet. The first hour was great. I thought the last hour, it kind of got ridiculous.
Well, and it's kind of so like Hubie Halloween is a guilty pleasure for my wife and I during Halloween because it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid, and it was going really, really well, and it was building to that crescendo, and then that last piece, the last hour, we sat there and we were like, "What the hell are we watching?" It's kind of like the Adam Sandler shtick now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with movie critic and Jets beat reporter Nick Faria here. Rat Diddy checks in. Loving the no drama at camp so far. Amen, Rat. It has been nice. Well, let's say this. There was drama with the Fields injury, but the Jets escaping that and Fields being out there in 11-on-11 today. I mean, you talk about hopefully the sign of things to come. If that's not something, I don't know what is, Nick.
If that's not a sign from God to say, hey, we get it. Oh, we've hurt Jet fans before, but this is different. I mean, most years Fields to be out for what, half a year, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it would just sink the entire season. Now he missed one practice, and even Aaron Glenn said he didn't miss much. It was one practice. He'll be okay. So, yeah, maybe this is a sign of things to come.
By the way, Shooter Super Chat talking about Nick Folk being clutch in fantasy football. Nick Folk's just clutch in general. The guy's the man. I love Nick Folk. If he's you don't just hand him the job, but you sign him, let him compete with thicker kicker, and then you go from there. But Nick Folk was good the last 2 years, so bring him in and let's go from there.
See if he still has it. Absolutely. Listen, it's about competition. That's all Aaron Glenn's talked about. Bring in the competition and see who wins each spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching live right now, reminder to join my Patreon. We update the list of names at the beginning of each month, so a few days left in July. Your name's added to the intro when you're a Patreon member. You get access to our private Discord when you're a Patreon member. You find out about events, including exclusive ones before the general public. You get 20% off every merch item and a whole lot more. And as always, visit the merch store, jakeasman.com/shop. Matthew with a super chat. He cuts the line. SA2K's 24 season didn't change a thing for running backs. I guess this is Saquon's 24 season.
So let's also break this down. So Saquon was coming in as a free agent in 2024. He was coming in as a free agent along with Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, who's the guy, Josh Jacobs. All these top guys were all hitting the open market at the same time. Saquon originally got, I think it was around $15 million. Derrick Henry around that same price. He had that 2,000-yard season behind one of the best offensive lines in football and won the Super Bowl. Philadelphia, I'm a firm believer that Philadelphia gave him that extra contract because they essentially told him, listen, we're not going to allow you to go for the record. So let's go for the Super Bowl instead, and then we'll pay you accordingly. That's what Philadelphia tends to do. And let's be quite honest here. Is Breece Hall Saquon Barkley? Is Breece Hall Derrick Henry? Josh Jacobs? Quite frankly, let's be honest about this here. Jacobs, Henry, Saquon. If the Jets have a chance to get either three player for Breece Hall, you take that and you run with it to the bank. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. So I think Saquon's year did change and did help some things for running backs, but all it did was show that if you have an elite running back, you pay him. Is Breece Hall an elite running back? That's a question that needs to be answered.
Well, it felt like he was going into last year, but he had a bad year. He got hurt. He played through it. The O-line was 31st in run block win rate. I don't think we've seen the best of Breece yet. I think we could see it this year if things go like they should. I'm
not denying that either. There's a very good chance he could become elite. But as of right now, are you going to pay him $15 million?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's part of it. This is his final year of the deal. And essentially, it is saying play at an elite level, and then we'll pay you. If you don't, we're going to let you walk. And that's the business of the league.
Jack writes in with a super chat. How much you paying Jack for this? Jake, you got to get Faria on the radio. One of the best covering the Jets.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
For the record, I have had Nick on the radio numerous times. So
100%. That was mostly me just being like, hey, you know what? I got time at 8:00.
I love it. Well, a couple things I want to get into, Nick. There was, to me, and you were there at this, when Aaron Glenn was asked by Connor Hughes about the bull rush move that seemingly Will McDonald now has in his arsenal, and he referenced it being coaching. I thought that was the most revealing answer of the summer so far, and just speaks volumes about how different things potentially could be under Aaron Glenn. What did you make of that? And then you could specifically also talk about just how good McDonald's look, because I'm so excited about what he could be in year 3.
Let's talk about Will McDonald first, because I get excited just thinking about what he was doing. He is a speed rusher that has had trouble stopping the run, usually because of his physicality, his size, his DNA doesn't match with an edge rusher that can defend the run as well. What he has shown this camp and this offseason is that he can be a Pro Bowl, God forbid, all-pro caliber player. He's gained about 15 pounds. He's gotten all muscle. This kid was skinny, and now he is built. And I am mortified for opposing offensive tackles because he has looked fantastic. And he's done a really good job in helping Armand Membu get up to speed as well. They've had a great battle so far in training camp to this point. The one thing I love about Will McDonald is his spin move. I liken it to Dwight Freeney just by his consistent ability to be able to use it. But the fact that he was able to essentially lift Armand Membu off his feet and decleat him in a pancake, I was stunned. Like my mouth dropped the minute I saw that play happen. And it's a testament to him and the work that he has done to get to this point. So the way that I look at it, Will McDonald is on a Pro Bowl trajectory right now. That is the expectation. I think 15 sacks are well within a possibility. I think he's well within the possibility of being a Pro Bowl player. And if he can, consistently stop the run, you're looking at an all-pro caliber player as well. I think he is really, really hitting home and really helping along the way. So big first step for McDonald here, really good stuff. And it's a wait-and-see game for him. As opposed to Aaron Glenn and talking about that topic, he's made it very clear that this team, this coaching staff, was going to teach. And that was the big difference between what Robert Saleh did, particularly in the last couple of years, and what he did early on. Remember, Robert Saleh took over a team he even acknowledged was an expansion level roster because of how devoid of talent they all were. And they built something nice. You know, they were building up. They won 3 games one year, then it was 7. And they were 7-4 going into December and all those things. But then we also have to acknowledge that essentially they said, hey, we're just a quarterback away. We don't need to teach anymore. We're a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. And they essentially counted their eggs before they all hatched. And that's what ended up blowing up in their face, because they essentially said, we don't need to teach anymore. We're a quarterback away. So they stopped doing it. And it was just about scheme, and it was just about in-game management. And when you didn't even do that right, you're essentially on the unemployment line, which is what Robert Saleh did, and his coaching staff did as well.
Nicholas Trinidad, I received your Venmo. You are in the Asmaniac raffle. Connor, along with a super chat. 2 goats. Connor, thank you very much. We appreciate your support. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. I'm going to play the answer from Glenn because I want as many Jet fans as possible to see this, because I thought this was awesome. This is the back and forth that we were just referring to when Glenn on Saturday was asked by Connor Hughes of SNY about Will McDonald.
We saw a lot of that. The speed last year we saw a lot of with Will.
Yep.
The spins, the coming around the edge. The power that he put on, I don't know if you need the replay if you haven't seen it yet, but he went over him at one point in that. Is that even a new element to his game when you said he added some weight?
Coaching.
Is that now what he can do?
Coaching. It's coaching.
How so? Like, what do you mean?
Because he can do it. You just said he's never done it last year, right?
Not much.
Now you see him do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Coaching. Coaching, Nick.
It's an indictment on the previous staff. And quite frankly, Elijah Vera Tucker and Breece Hall kind of acknowledged that as well. So, yeah, it really was coaching. And a lot of the problems they had last year was coaching, both in-game management and roster building and construction. It was just a full collapse from the very beginning. And now, clearly, they're picking up the pieces.
This is Los with a super chat. I hated the Will McDonald pick. Glad to be wrong. If he takes another step, it can mean some extra W's.
I told everyone when he was drafted, stay patient. You always want edge rushers because you always want to see if they can develop into something more. This is what we're talking about here. You do not give up on a player year 1, year 2. Year 3 is always the big demarcation point for select players. For Jermaine Johnson, we all thought he was going to become a star. Unfortunately, he got hurt. All those questions have to be answered still for McDonald, but at the same point, the potential is there. The athleticism is there. He's still only 26 years old. He's just entering the prime of his career. You are looking at a really, really good football player that I think is going to take a step into superstardom this year if he continues to play like he has in camp.
Speaking of superstardom, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Azzy Awards. Today, these 4 nominees have all become stars in the community without ever having called into a single show. That's right. The Azzy Award for Keyboard Warrior is on the line today. Your nominees are as follows: Chris B, Bill M, and 2 committee members, Rich and Tom Ace. Your vote determines who wins the Azzy, and voting is underway.
It's time for the Azzy Awards. Gotta get through Jets off season. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose? These Asmaniac callers are legends. It's up to the chat. It's your time to vote. You gotta decide who's better. Asmaniacs drive the Jake Asman Show. That's why we gotta have these Azzy Awards.
Hell yeah. And speaking of the Asmaniacs, make sure you guys lock in your spot for Jets Giants, our watch party at T Squared Social. Tickets are just $18 for a free beer, free shot, and raffle ticket included. T Squared Social, Midtown Manhattan, Saturday night, August 16th. Jets Giants, 6:30 the party starts. We will see you there. Mackle with a super chat. Is Braylon Allen clear RB2? From what I've heard, Davis has gotten as many or more reps with the ones.
Yes, yeah, 100%. He's RB2. I think right now it's Breece Hall and Braylon Allen splitting carries, and then we'll see what happens with Isaiah Davis. I thought it would be a trio of running backs, but so far it's only been 2.
Maze Cornson has sent in a $10 super sticker. I have no idea what exactly that means, but It's $10, so that's 2 raffle tickets in my mind, Nick, unless you know what a super sticker is here that I don't.
No idea.
All right. Well, that answers the question. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We got a bunch of you watching live right now, so if you have a question about anything Jet or NFL related for Nick, make sure you ask it. We got almost 400 people in the chat, so make sure you guys vote in the Azzies, and, of course, ask away any questions. Phone lines are open as well. I pinned the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline link for those who want to join the show. And first up today is Fly By Night, who bats leadoff. What's up, Fly By Night?
Hey, how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good, Fly By Night.
Man. Good. Love hearing how the pads are on and we're getting aggressive. Not overly aggressive, though, but, you got to teach the guys how to handle in-game situations when you're not in the game. Otherwise, you're not going to get people to perform well on Sundays. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Hey, Fly By Night, are you
escaped
flying?
the whole Justin Fields situation.
Are you actually flying?
I am indeed flying right now. Well, No, just driving home. I had kids are not feeling well, so I got to hurry home now. I just figured I'd call them while I was doing so. But I just, again, wanted to say happy that we got out of this. Happy everything worked out. Hopefully we can stay healthy throughout camp, and let's keep going. Go Jets.
Fly By Night joining us live from the airspace there.
Well done. Well done.
Thomas, the man is defying gravity and the laws of physics. Gator says, fly by shitty phone. What else is new? A Jake Asman Show caller calling from their cell phone, having bad service? That never happens. Maze, I see another super sticker from you, so thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Nick, what did you make of not just the Glenn comments we played? You referenced some of the players talking about accountability. AVT in particular, that's about as clear of a direct shot at the previous coaching staff as you could find. What did you make of those comments?
It's just a testament, really, to how off the rails that organization became towards the end. Maybe it was about Aaron Rodgers because, they brought in all these guys. Maybe it was because Robert Saleh essentially gave up on the teaching aspect once he realized that they were just a quarterback away. This team was a dysfunctional mess for a good 2 years. And every single time something could go wrong, it went wrong. That's kind of where you're trying to move past. And part of that is the mental side. Part of that is the preparation. And you are seeing Aaron Rodgers, the ghost of Aaron Rodgers, sort of get pushed away more and more each and every day. The distractions that came over the last few years have gone. And it's a testament to what Aaron Glenn has built. And it's kind of showing the players just how bad it really was from a leadership perspective over the last two, three seasons.
Big Loyal in the house with a $10 super chat. I would take Breece Hall's potential all-purpose talent versus just rushing that Saquon provides. If Breece was on the Eagles and healthy, oh my God.
I don't think Breece is the same. He's not the same caliber running back as Saquon. And it's with Saquon, he's a great receiver, a great blocker, and also a great runner, obviously. He can run in between the tackle, and he's very, very fast. Breece Hall, to me, I think is just a tier below. Even at his full potential, I think he's just a tier below. Barkley, and you got to remember something, guys. Barkley was the second overall pick in the draft when he was taken. And most people said, while he was overdrafted, he's still a top 5, top 10 prospect. When Breece Hall was coming out, no one was saying that about him. They said, listen, really good first-round talent, late second-round talent, but he was not a clear-cut top 10 prospect. There's a difference there, and I think you see that in both of their games.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have extra training camp tickets and you want to send them my way, I will distribute them to Jet fans because I just sent 2 to Matthew Foley so he could take his son on Thursday. And if anyone has extra tickets for Saturday, that has been the most requested date of the entire training camp practices on the schedule. So just a little PSA, if anyone has extra training camp tickets, you can email them my way, AsmanJake@gmail.com, and I will distribute them to Jet fans that can use them. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man who resides in a global studio headquarters. It's time.
Abracadabra. All right. Okay. Now I've had just enough of the bullshit. Harry Potter this.
You keep the fuck out.
All right. We're not going to do that one today. Nick, your thoughts on that?
What does he have against Harry Potter?
I don't know. He hates Harry Potter. It's terrible.
I think Harry Potter is fantastic. I read the books once a year. It's a great series. I really enjoy it. Always been a Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Beast is upset that I guess someone caught him shaking Voldemort's hand years ago. This picture's just resurfacing now.
Oh man, yeah, that's right after he killed Cedric in Goblet of Fire.
It's unbelievable. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Reminder for those of you just tuning in that our top prizes in next week's Asmaniac raffle are as followed: a signed Broadway Joe Namath jersey and a signed DeBrickashaw Ferguson football. And at the end of the show, we raffle away a Jermaine Johnson jersey. So those are some of the giveaways and prizes that we have coming up on the show. Nick, as far as some other week one takeaways from being out there, what to you has been the thing that is maybe being under-discussed to this point? Because remember, so much of it's on Glenn and what it looks like under him and Justin Fields, of course. But what else should Jet fans really know about what's gone down through the first week of camp?
That's a great question because there's so many things. There's so many things to look at. I would say right now probably at wide receiver, it is Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, and a bunch of dudes. Tyler Johnson stepped up a couple times. Malachi Corley had a touchdown catch. Arian Smith continues to impress. Jamal Pritchett has been fantastic when he's been given the rock and when he's gotten open. There's a lot of questions there, and for good reason, because it's just Garrett Wilson and a bunch of dudes right now. And I think once we get closer to the preseason, it's going to be an interesting conundrum because no one's really deserved, in my mind, to sit in preseason action outside of Garrett. And I think that'll be the case. I think you will see the only receiver not active when the Jets take the field for their first preseason contest to be Garrett. And that's it. He's the only one that will sit because, quite frankly, everyone else has stuff to prove. So it's a wait and see game on that end. I really like what I've seen from Pritchett, Smith, Reynolds. But there's a lot of questions because Josh Reynolds essentially plays the same game as Allen Lazard. And Allen Lazard has been very, very quiet throughout camp. So maybe that's a sign that things are not going so well for the veteran and former Packer, but we shall see because maybe he gets traded to Pittsburgh. Maybe he just gets flat out released. It's a lot easier to move him now, but you're not going to keep two blocking receivers on the roster. That essentially would be a waste in my opinion.
Lane writes in, how do you feel about the Jets?
I think they're still around where I said 7 to 10 wins is probably where I'm expecting the Jets to be this year. And Justin Fields will be the decider on that. If he plays well and continues to improve, I see a team that can win 8-9 games. If he struggles, 7 may be the ceiling. And it really is just that simple.
So much of it is just in the hands of Fields, but I do feel much better about the plan and the coaching going into the year than I did.
The system in place is so much better, and that they're trying to build something, and they're aware that it's not going to happen in year one. And when they are very forthcoming about that, it allows fans to just say, okay, we're going to improve. We're going to gradually get better. Let's not panic right away. Let's see how this grows and develops.
B-Show says, Jake, who do you fear more, the Pats or the Fins? I personally fear the Pats more than the Dolphins. I don't believe in the Dolphins roster. I'm iffy on McDaniels and
they're a top 5 pick waiting to happen. The Dolphins are a top 5 pick waiting to happen. That's a disaster train. Right?
Their win total is like 8.5. I'd bet the under on that. New England, I don't think New England's a great team, but I think they have an outstanding coach now in Vrabel. May should be better in year 2. I don't love their roster. It's better, but I don't love it overall. But I just have more faith in Vrabel than I do the situation with Miami right now. So I think New England is going to be better than the Dolphins. I think the Jets are going to be better than Miami, too. I think Miami's in 4th place.
I think Miami's going to barely brush to 4 wins. I think they're a disaster waiting to happen. But I think the Jets and Patriots are the inverse of each other. The Jets have a really good roster, but a massive question at quarterback. The Patriots have a really good quarterback, but a massive question along the roster. you put Drake May on the Jets, and I think the Jets are probably playoff bound and can compete for the division. That's how much I really like Drake May as a quarterback. You put Justin Fields on the Patriots roster, and he may not get to 5 wins. So it all just comes down to the quarterback. If Fields can improve, I think this team can be really good and surprise a lot of people. Just in quality of play, I think they can surprise people.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching live right now, make sure you click the like button. More importantly, please subscribe to the channel. We're having some positive growth. All the Jet fans returning. We talk Jets each and every day on this channel, and that includes Saturdays. That includes Sundays. We're live after every Jets game during the season for a post-game show immediately following every single game. Do a couple more calls with Nick, and then we'll say goodbye, and I'll stay on for the rest. Man with a Jets tattoo joins us now. What's up, man with a Jets tattoo?
Hey, Jake. Hey, Nick. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Listen, have you had any Corley sightings?
He's had one sighting where it's looked really good. He caught the touchdown from Brady Cook on, I believe it was Friday's practice. Outside of that, it's been struggle. It's been a lot of struggles. And part of that is because he didn't have off-season workouts. He's learning the system essentially on the fly. But again, it's difficult. It's really difficult because he's got to compete with all these guys in front of him. I think there's a chance that he may not make the 53 because he has not done anything to prove that he is worthy of a 53-man roster spot.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. I don't think he's going to make the roster. I just don't think there's too much competition in front of him.
Matt isn't there right now because Xavier Gibson's made more plays than him in camp. And Aaron Smith made more plays. Jamal Pritchett has completely outpaced him in production. And if we're going based on production in camp, Pritchett deserves the roster spot over Corley, at least to this point right now.
Okay, and what do you think about Adrian Martinez?
Good guy, camp arm, someone who could potentially run an offense in the preseason. But if he's on the field for the Jets at any point in the regular season, I think you're looking at a bad year for the Jets.
Yeah, another Tim Boyle.
Yeah, I would say a little more competent because Tim Boyle was a statue in the pocket. He wasn't a scrambler. Martinez can at least run with the football if things break down, but he's not going to win you games.
Yeah, I watched him when he was in the XFL, and I thought he looked pretty good. But, you got to look at the competition he was up against, too. Anyway, hey, look, I was going through some stuff, and I found a bunch of my signed photos. Vinny Testaverde, Wayne Corbett, Marty Lyons. I couldn't believe it. I forgot I had them.
Now you got to display it, man, with a Jets tattoo, and I'll come right back to you. But Nick, I know you got to run, so I appreciate you hopping on, man.
Of course, appreciate it, Jake. Thanks, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria. Check out his work on JetsXFactor.com. Let's go back to man with a Jets tattoo. What else you got for us, man with a Jets tattoo?
Oh, I don't know. I'm real excited. I just can't wait.
Can we see the tattoo? I got thousands of people that are now regularly watching the show again. They got to see this thing. They weren't here in July when you were showing this off.
You got it?
Oh, yeah, we got it.
That's about 35 years old.
Pain. So much pain the Jets have caused us, and you wanted more pain by tattooing their logo onto your body.
Jake, I'll tell you, there was times I thought about getting it covered up. I thought about I was going to get a knife and cut my skin off. I swear to God, that's how crazy I was getting. But I will tell you one thing. I was returning home from a trip, and I was at the airport, and there was this young kid there, and we were talking about the Jets. He saw my Jet hat, and we were talking about the Jets. And this has happened to me several times, especially with young kids. I show them my Jet tattoo, and they want to take a picture of it. So there's a lot of pictures floating around of my arm. That's all I got to say about that.
Love it.
Yeah, but it was the 90s. It was when the Jets were good, and I was living in Florida. We had a Jet bar, and we were getting real excited. We thought they were going to the Super Bowl. And, we all drank a little bit, went down to the tattoo parlor, and we all got Jet tattoos. So I still love it, And My wife always used to say to me, "Hey, how come you never got my name tattooed on your arm?" And what are you going to say? You can have one love in your life, and mine's the Jets.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is the very definition of a toxic relationship.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
That is the relationship we as Jet fans have with the Jet organization. You guys ready for some breaking news? This is why we have the greatest community in all the sports. The greatest people regularly tune in to the Jake Asman Show.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Breaking news. This was just sent to me by a listener who shall remain anonymous. What I have here is apparently the number 1 overall seed in Asmaniac Madness leaving what appears to be a local Friendlies establishment in New Jersey. Folks, Charles Gorman, seen here, leaving Friendlies today. Do we think he asked about a job? Do we think he made any attempt at getting a job? That's the question. But these photos are legit. They've been vetted properly. This person DM'd them to me on Twitter. And I'm told that this was somewhere in New Jersey, a Charles Eugene M. Gorman sighting. And also, there's a bagel pantry across the street as well. Do we think Charles Gorman applied for a job there? That's the question. The answer, we don't know.
J-O-B, job.
But if Gorman's out there and wants to explain what he was doing at Friendlies today, looking for a job or just doing what he normally does, eating there, the floor is his. More calls. Jordan is on the line. Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Jake? Thanks for
Jordan,
having me in today.
You got it. You're not the Jordo show, are you? That's not you,
Nah,
right?
that's
Okay.
not me. That's somebody else. I wish
Gotcha.
I had my own show. But it sucks that I couldn't get on with Nick. But I wanted to ask about Tony Adams and not Xavier Gibson, Malachi Moore, because we've been hearing a lot about Malachi Moore, like making plays and Andre Cisco, but haven't heard a lot about Tony Adams. So I wonder if he'll be able to beat him out for the spot.
I think Tony Adams is the favorite just because he's the incumbent, but I don't think by any means his spot as a starter is secure. I mean, the owner himself, by the way, benched Tony Adams last year. Let's not forget that. And they like Malachi Moore. I mean, Glenn talking about him today was definitely something that I thought was notable, what he said about him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he has a lot of potential to improve a lot over the course of the season. Even if he is the backup, he'll still get in and get some reps throughout the season.
100%. Look, the secondary, I think, is going to be a lot better than what we saw last year as far as just being more opportunistic and forcing turnovers. Getting Carter back healthy is so underrated. No one discusses that. He's huge for what they want to do defensively. Yeah. And I think Sauce is going to be a lot closer to what he was his first 2 years. So I am optimistic about the Jets secondary for sure.
Yeah, I am too. And another person too that we're not hearing a lot of talk about, but everybody else is Michael Clemens, which I want him off the team because he wasn't that good, but we hear all this talk about other guys making plays and, having good camps, but we haven't heard anything about Clemens. So I think that's a sign as well.
Yeah, look, I think ultimately I'm not a believer in Clemens, but he's a Jet, so I'm going to root for him. And if Glenn thinks they could turn him into something, show us, because then we'll be feeling, certainly a lot better about this coaching staff if they turn Michael Clemens into a disciplined role player that actually could help this team.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but it could also be the player as well. They got to want it more than the coaches.
100%. How's the construction site today, Jordan?
Very hot, sweating a lot, but it's good. It pays the bills, man.
I love it. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Appreciate the call.
Jordan checking in. Apparently Charles Gorman had a meltdown on the Nick Shine program last night. I was busy last night, so I didn't get a chance to watch it live. But Derek says, can you play the meltdown? I don't have the clip. Otherwise, I obviously would. I do know this, though. Charles Gorman was at Friendlies today Was he there looking for a job, or was he there eating? That's all I know. Super chat from the Kyle Clifton. I was going to get a Commander's tattoo, but I couldn't handle the pain. Clifton in the raffle for 5 with this super chat. Tristan Oliver with a super chat. How do I gift the membership? I need the JJ jersey. Tristan, you got to be on your laptop or desktop. That is the best way to gift the membership. That's the only way to do it if you're on an iPhone. So that's the way to do it. Update on the Azzy Awards. Keyboard Warrior, 37% of the vote to Tom Ace. Chris B at 34%. Rich at 22%. Bill M at 8% of the vote so far in our first ever Azzy Awards. Tomorrow on the show, award number 1, Best Fake Name. The nominees are Clifton, D's Nuts, We the People, and Black Gypsy. So stay tuned for that on our first show tomorrow. More of your calls right now. Let's see if this man has calmed down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to none other than the Beast himself.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Yes, please. I'm also doing some research looking right now, doing for some stuff.
Hey, Beast, why don't you put the light on so we could see you?
I'm already planning on getting something that I've been wanting to get my hands on for quite some time. Some rare Black Sabbath stuff with my favorite singer in there, Tony Martin.
Hey, Beast, is it true you're the next Peter Pan?
Hey, with a body like mine and a spirit like that, I got more balls than anybody. If I could do this job, I got the gall for it. And what is this place? Friendlies. What is that place to me? I don't know. It's weird.
You would love it. You'd sit down and you'd be eating their food, enjoying their ice cream and milkshake. It'd be awesome.
All right. Have you been there before?
Many times.
Okay. How do you rate their sandwiches or burgers?
12 out of 10.
I'll tell you what. I'll take a look in that. But there is one thing I do want to try: crispy pizza. You've heard of crispy pizza?
Now, Beast, what job are you referring to, considering that you said you're retired?
You know, dealing with top associates that I work with. You know, you work with stars from all around the world, and you talk with the best guys.
But who do you work with? You're retired. It doesn't make any sense.
You deal with distributors from across the globe, across the seas. You sit down, you negotiate with these people. That's what you're supposed to do. I do this every month.
Also, quick question for you. This is apparently you and Nick Faria at Hogwarts. Is this real?
Oh, get the hell out of here with that.
Is this not you and Nick? Before Nick covered football, he used to cover Quidditch.
Hey, Estiana, man. Yo, back it up, brother.
Yo.
Back at the train.
Yo.
Enough's enough.
Yo.
You know what I mean by that?
Rejected. Sorry.
All right. Thanks for the time, Beast. Appreciate it. Not quite sure what the hell you're talking about, though. I mean, you said you were retired. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. You guys should see the emails I have from after the first show today. I'm not making this up. 7 different listeners sent me multiple photos involving Beastbreaker at Hogwarts, him as Peter Pan, him riding a giant zucchini. I mean, it was out of control. Wild first show today for those who missed it. All right, more calls right now. I know what everyone needs. Everyone needs to take a chill pill. So I got just the guy who could do that for all of us. Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho. Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in. Big Cho. I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles. We're talking about Big Cho. My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands earlier. Came home just chilling. Jake.
Big Joe.
How you doing?
I'm chilling.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Depends on what it is.
Can you? I somehow stumbled across Gator's Instagram. Don't ask me how. And I saw a picture that he did that says Big Cho, the Big Cho show features Shania. It looks awesome.
So what's the favor?
Nah, if you'll just tell him that for me.
Well, I think you just told him that.
Oh, he's on there?
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Gator. You doing okay, Jake? Jake, where'd you go? Jake. Oh, Jake. Jake, why always do this to me, man? Leave me out here hanging. Where'd you go? Beast.
Yes. What do you need? I'm like an exploding TNT right now, ready to burst. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
Got a headache. A little bit of a headache. It's hot.
Sorry,
It's humid. It's muggy. And you know what it does? Likes to drive people's insanity through the roof.
Do you have any air conditioning?
I got 2 fans pumping. I got an air conditioner busting. I'm trying to keep it under control right now. And, I'm just ready for football season in 2 weeks. And I would love to, be as happy as I am. But the way things are today, everyone, what I heard, zucchini and all the other shit, okay, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Enough. Take that picture down and shove it up your big ass. Let me say this for everybody. I am Jason Allen effing Storm. I'm one bad motherfucker you don't want to play with.
What else is new, Big Joe?
Beast's always fired up, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's always got that passion.
Yeah, he looks like he's hot. He's never wearing the shirt.
Yeah. He's a big, sexy man.
I see that. What about you?
I think I'd rather leave my shirt on.
I got you.
I'm not a man's man like Beast is.
Not many people are.
It's true.
Yeah, I think Beast needs to learn how to chill like myself.
Any advice you can give him on the art of chilling?
I think the biggest thing is to not worry about what other people say about you. You can't control what they say. So, try not to worry about it. That's probably the best. It's kind of like the guy that's been picking on me. I don't worry about him.
By the way, Nick Shine ever give you a call to talk about the transportation from the airport?
Nah, did you give him my number?
I'm trying to think. I think he has your email.
I haven't got anything. I can email you and send you my phone number. I think I've sent it before.
Sounds good.
So you're going to be on the air tonight at 7?
That's right.
I may try to call in.
Do you have any hot takes you're going to share?
No, I just like to call in and say I'm supporting you.
That's fantastic, Big Joe.
You know I'm a big Jake Asman fan.
I'm a big Cho fan. Hey, Big Cho, I'm getting a call right now. Can you host the show for a minute?
You gonna do this to me again?
You got this. Just answer some comments.
All right, I'll try to look and see. All right, send the comments so I can see. How many people listened to my first podcast? We're gonna do another one this week. Should have it drop by Friday. What do you want to know about the AFL? Started in 1960. Merged with the NFL in 1970. Our next show is going to dive deeper into the NFL merger and then also review 1970 NFL season. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, we're going to get a sneak peek on what our live show is going to be like. Oh, Shania never came over. She got called in to work early today, so we didn't meet today. So she's coming over Thursday.
I'm back, Big Cho.
Got it. Somebody asked me about Shania. I said that she got called in to work early, so she didn't come over today.
Oh, so you didn't get the Cho and chill with Shania?
Thursday.
Oh, very nice.
That's right. You know, somebody was in the comment talking about the New York Titans going broke in 62. They had to give up ownership. They sold the team, and Mr. Werblin named them the New York Jets.
You think Beast knows he's on the air right now?
Probably not.
Yeah.
He always looks like he's really friggin' hot. Does he not have air conditioning? He says
he lives in
I
an
have
attic.
it blasting. I have it blasting in the back. I got two other fans blasting in there as well.
Beast. This is a family show. What are you talking about blasting for? What do you think? We're at a Yankee game and we're that Phillies couple yesterday?
Oh,
Jake, when's the last time you went to a Yankee game?
Now I see why I have a real hot anger problem, and you know I deal with people with with smart brains, but unfortunately some of these IQs I'm looking at are below toilet paper and cheap water. Bim boom boom me, bim boom bim boom 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 ba, bim boom ba, bim boom ba, bim boom boom me, bim boom 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 ba.
Hey, Big Cho, any final thoughts here? I got no one else on hold, so I'm going to get the raffle all set unless people start calling in.
Oh, okay. Now, what are you raffling off today, Jake?
I'm giving away a Jermaine Johnson jersey.
I'm looking forward to my jersey coming in.
It will be there hopefully maybe by the end of this week or early next week. Usually it takes about 2 weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I won the Garrett Wilson jersey, right?
That's right.
That's awesome. I'll have to sport it when I call in.
And then you have to call in with the Big Cho jersey on as well.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that. I hope to get it soon. That's when I'm gonna wear that to the tailgate party in the game on Sunday, October 19th.
Hey, Big Cho, is it true that you guys took out some advertising for the show?
I'm working on it.
Apparently, this is everywhere on social media. It's been blasted out.
That's the thing I saw from Gator.
Wow.
That's what I was telling Gator. Thanks. That is awesome. I need to have him do something for my social media.
Maybe you should hire Gator. He doesn't charge that much. Usually it's about $10K a month.
Jeez, I can't afford that.
No.
That's a lot of money, man.
Hey, if you want to be the best, you got to hire the best.
I believe he's the best. He's just out of my price range.
I see.
That is a good photo, though.
How many hours you putting in that chair today, Big Joe, reclining back and forth?
I'm not, couple hours, something like that. I've been in it for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day. All right, Big Joe.
I will if I remember. I'll try to holler at you tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Joe.
You get the fuck out.
One of the greats. Couple super chats here. Then a few people did call in, so the show will continue. Tristan Oliver says, "Can this get me some entries?" You're in for 5. Enter the next caller, Tristan. What's up, man? You figured it out.
Oh man, yeah, I'm too far. I'm too far from the desktop to give channel memberships right now. So I just had to figure out a way. I appreciate you, Jake. Honestly, that was my only reason for calling in, because you said if nobody called in, you were gonna get the raffle settled up. So I needed this to, be entered. I do have a question though. Like, why is everybody, well, maybe not everybody, let me not generalize. Why is the general consensus around Tony Adams like low? I know the owner benched him, but I mean, Woody's been wrong in the past. I don't really have any glaring moment in my memory where Tony Adams was the weakness of the defense.
He wasn't
as a
great
matter
last year, but neither was really anyone for the most part. And you're right. I think it's more so he's just kind of like a guy. Like, is Tony Adams, like, he's not a game changer. Whereas, so if a rookie comes along that's impressive, he might get an opportunity to play. That's why we're talking about Malachi Moore.
Okay, that makes sense. That's really all I have. I'm not going to exhaust the partner next to Quentin Williams statement again and again and again and again, even though they need to address it over and over again. But that's all I got, Jake. It's hot.
It is
I'll
hot.
holler at you.
Tristan, beard looks great. Excellent call. Appreciate you. Tight race in the Azzies. Get your votes in. Tom Ace versus Chris B. It will come down to for the Keyboard Warrior Azzie Award. Super chat from Alan, who says, happy to get to the end of the show. Got to get me a JJ jersey. Alan, appreciate you watching, man. And this is not the Alan we don't like. Alan Dotis, we do like. I've met him in person. James with a super chat. Beast, Big Cho, and Lane Train are the best. Strong tandem there, no doubt. Big Country says, Beast put on a sports bra. Beast, have you thought about a sports bra? Big Country wants to know. You let us know. It appears like Beast's camera is frozen on this current shot. Look at that cleavage. Everyone appreciating this? Good. Very good.
You son of a bitch!
Yeah! Congrats to Mets 2128 on winning Meltdown of the Year in our first show today for the Azzies. All right. Coach is on the line. Coach Oglick is next. What's up, Coach?
What's up, Jake? What's everyone? Hey, everyone. Vote Chris. I did. Hopefully my internet's good. It's a little choppy over here.
You look great.
Thanks, sir. I got to see the Mets kick the you-know-what out of the Giants Saturday. They were out here, so feels good to be a Yankee fan. I just thought I'd drop that out there for you all Met fans.
The Met fan had to root for the Yankee fan this past weekend, which is kind of funny.
That's right. I have a question, and normally I call in with some facts or something to chat about. But with Rodgers getting the ball out quickly and not stretching the field last year, I know he didn't have the fastest time from snap to release. He wasn't in like the top 5. I think he was, mediocre, like in the average, league average. But we did have some really good O-line pass blocking. So my brain is going and it's saying we've got Justin Fields, more runs. Let's say we're even at 60% runs. That would make me happy, right? Whatever. On those pass plays, what are we thinking our O-line's going to do? Now, I'm speculating here. Question. Maybe we can't answer that until we see some preseason or week 1. But my brain is thinking, are these fellas going to shoot off the ball and destroy people 60% of the time? And on the rest of the time, they could potentially struggle because of how much emphasis is put on running the ball.
Well, they were pretty good in pass protection last year, the four guys that are back, as far as how they graded out. I think a lot of it is coaching. And Justin Fields also can help out his offensive line by extending plays with his mobility, too. So that's going to help as well. The key to them having any success, though, is they got to be able to run the ball effectively. Fields is good off play action. He's good throwing over the middle to his tight ends. All that is set up if you're running the football effectively. And that's what it comes down to for the Jets to have a competent offense.
Do you have data available where it shows like Rodgers last year time to throw, like they say quickest release or whatever? I don't pay attention to those numbers often.
Yeah, he had Rodgers had one of the quicker releases in the league last year. I was reading something. I wish I would give the reporter credit if I remember where I saw it. It was basically going through the Jets offensive line and specifically how each guy on the line graded out in pass protection. And they all were graded out favorably. I might have been Buffalo Jet fan who actually had the stats. Let's see if I can find it real quick for you. But the point is, the O-line's got to be a big strength of this team. We're talking about 4 of the 5 guys are back and have played with each other previously. And you're adding the 7th overall pick to the right tackle. Let's see. No, this was on the defense.
Well, I agree with you.
I can't find it. I'll try and get some numbers for you on that.
Right? You're saying Justin Fields has to help, right? He has to get out of the pocket and run, extend
He
the
helps your
play.
running game.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence. Derrick Henry had this amazing year when he's playing with Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Like they work in tandem. Like Saquon Barkley had this career year, one of the great years ever, and he's with Jalen Hurts, right? Like a great running quarterback, as long as he's serviceable as a passer, which the Jets think Fields could be, that opens everything up for the entire running game. And we've seen that with the last couple of years in the NFL, what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think the O-line is probably what's going to make or break our season. With the coach coming out and saying, if we lost Justin Fields, we have a serviceable, backup or second string. With other potential injuries or people not playing up to expectations, I could see the season still continuing. But if the O-line doesn't dominate top half of the league, I think we have to temper expectations. I think that's really how our season's going to go. And I'm all in on that idea. Like, go ahead, invest in that O-line and let's see them run through people. Let's see them stop the run. We see some of those games, like I forget what the game where the Patriots ran it like 45 out of 46 plays. And I was like, holy cow, I want the Jets to win a game that way. Like, that's so much fun. It may be boring for others, but no way. I want to see us go down the field, take snap 1, week 1, run the ball right into the end zone, however many plays that takes, getting first downs along the way, and afterwards having the other team just say, look on their face, be, oh crap, how are we going to stop this team on the next drive? What are we doing? I would love that. I'm getting shivers down my spine thinking about that being a Jets team, but I don't know. I've been drinking pretty heavily this morning, so maybe that's the reason.
You on vacation this week, Coach?
No, I'm at work right now. I call in from work, and it's no big deal.
Drinking heavily already. I love it.
Yeah, I drank some iced tea earlier.
Ah, I see. Well, Coach, appreciate you, man. Keep calling in, all right?
Yep. Keep it up, Jake.
Love it. Coach Oglick checking in there. The line's going to determine the success or failure of this offense. And really the season, right? This is the stat I've referenced a bunch on the show. So the Jets were ranked ninth by Pro Football Focus in their O-line rankings going into the year. Last 2 years, PFF has put out their top 10 offensive lines. 19 out of 20 of those teams that were top 10 in offensive line rankings finished with at least 7 wins. Now, that's what they finished as, right? That's not, hey, PFF made this list in the summer, and then those teams went on, 19 out of 20 of them went on to win at least 7 games. It's if you have a top 10 offensive line by how PFF grades their their players, right? 19 out of 20 of those teams the last 2 years won at least 7 games, and the average win record was 11-6. So we're talking about a Jet line that has a chance to be top 10, and if it is top 10, feels like the ceiling for the Jets maybe could be 10 wins. I think the floor is 7. You tell me right now the Jets finish as PFF's 9th best O-line, I think they win 7 games. If they finish top 5, I think maybe they win 8 or 9 games. Have a winning season. This stuff matters. It really does. Fire Aaron Glenn says, happy birthday to... And I won't say the rest because I see what you're doing, Aaron Glenn. Fire Aaron Glenn here. E. Norma. All right, last chance to get in here. Appreciate everyone tuned in live for our show. We got our raffle coming up. We got a Jermaine Johnson we'll give away. And for those of you who missed it, we did have the Asmaniac weekly raffle on the first show. So now we're on to raffle 34. And this upcoming week, we have a signed Namath jersey and a signed DeBrickashaw Ferguson football as our top 2 prizes so far. Peter Castro says, Jake, I told you 11-6. Peter, from your lips to God's ears that the New York Jets win 11 games. An accomplishment that we have not seen in this fan base since 2010 when Nick Folk was on the team. And guess what? Nick Folk had a tryout today with the Jets. And we hope that the New York Jets will sign him. Because that to me would be a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. You don't even need to hand him the job, although I think he'd win it. But that's the competition you should have. Thicker kicker versus Nick Folk. Would love that. He had a tryout today, and we'll see if the Jets end up signing him to a contract. He's 40 years old, but I gave the stats earlier for those tuning in late. Nick Folk, the last couple of years, has been awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, almost time for the raffle. I need a little bit more time, though, to count up all the names. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play you guys a clip. It's a clip that has never aired before, but it's ironically one of the most incredible moments in the history of this show. The moment when Charles Gorman on April 1st of this year, in the middle of Asmaniac Madness, was catfished. This clip has never aired. We never did a recap from it. We wanted to let time heal as Charles was going through it. But we're a few awards away from the Gorman Azzy Award, and this is one of the nominees here. So for those who missed it, this is one of the most iconic moments in the history of the Jake Asman Show. Enjoy, and then we got a raffle.
Okay, Jake, this is some real serious shit right now. I'm helping someone out. Do you have Cash App? I'm serious, Jake. I swear to God. I'm not bullshitting you.
Yeah, what do you need the money for, Charles?
She's real. I heard her voice. I swear to God.
What does she need help with?
It's complicated right now. Please, Jake. I really am in deep, dire straits right now.
Why not ask?
There's a deposit of $1,000, but something with her financial department. She uses Bitcoin wallet.
Of course she does.
I was supposed to help her out with some payments.
Why would you help her out? You don't have a job. Bad fellow, what do you think of this situation?
I smell criminality everywhere. I smell it. I need the bat spray.
I'm being serious here.
I'm being serious. Charles, if she's asking you for Bitcoin, that's a scam, bro. Now back to Batman. Charles, you cannot be duped. Do not fall for this.
I met her on Discord.
Have you seen what she looks like?
Well, she's busy right now. She was busy at the time.
Of course. So you've never seen her because you're being scanned. If I'm supposed to believe this is real, she needs it for what?
The financial department.
The financial department of what?
Don't you fall for that scam.
Well, I just lost all my freaking money because of this bitch.
Well, how much did you pay this person?
Too damn much. I heard her voice. It was a woman.
Have you watched this show and seen what Gator has done with people's voices?
It wasn't Gator.
It was an actual female voice.
Oh my God. Of course it's not Gator scamming you. $70? Is that why you requested that from me? More than that?
Yes.
How much?
I literally help people that have been victimized from this weekly. This is called a romance scam. What did you use? Did you use like Venmo?
Cash App, Bitcoin address.
Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Nah, you're not getting your money back, dude. I can't help you. You're lucky it's not all your money.
How much money is it?
Over 100.
How much? Give me an exact number and we will probably get it done right now. If you swear to everyone watching the show, you will not be scammed by anyone that is fake trying to get your money again. Block this person immediately. Do not give them any more money. You understand?
Yes. I was an idiot, Jake. My parents warned me about this shit and I failed.
You cannot talk to strangers on the internet, Charles. You understand?
Yes.
Tell me how much money you sent to this fake person immediately. How much total money is this roughly here? Because I can't do the math as I'm on the air right now. This is over $1,000, Charles. Is that why you asked for 1,000 at the beginning? That's so nice of you, big fella. I'll make sure we get this to Charles.
Look, Charles is a special person, and for someone to take advantage of him, I wish I was the real Batman because I go and destroy them.
I posted Charles' Venmo in the chat. Send it to him directly. I mean, it's just brutal. Charles, you got scammed, man. Hopefully you learn from this. That's all you could do. Unreal. We'll never forget it. And that is up for an Azzy. That and the other iconic Gorman moments that made the cut as well. With that said, it is time for an AsmanJake raffle. But first, one last super chat that qualified. Big Country got 2 extra tickets. He says, if Nick Falk comes back, I'm getting a jersey of one of my favorite kickers. I would just say make sure he makes the team first, because even if they sign him, they're not just going to hand him the job. He'll compete with the thicker kicker who had a great day today. But they should add some competition there. Nick Falk's the best available. He's 40, so you got to make sure he didn't fall off a cliff. But bring him in. On that note, let's give away a Jermaine Johnson jersey to one lucky listener.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly AsmanJake raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which AsmanJake is winning an epic prize.
Here we go. Good luck to everyone who entered. If you don't win, you're automatically entered in our weekly prize, weekly raffle, so you have a chance to win that. And if you do win, AsmanJake at Gmail, your name, the address, your size, and what color, green or white, you want the Jermaine jersey in. With that said, spin the wheel. And the winner is listener Bill Fund. Congrats to Bill. He's always in the chat. And Bill wins his first ever raffle prize. Congratulations to Bill. Bill, shoot me an email with your information, and we'll get that jersey ordered for you this week. Congrats to Bill. And again, thank you to everyone who continues to support this show and allows us to do the volume of giveaways and raffles that we've been doing now for a very, very long time. All right. We're not done just yet, though. Time to announce the winner of the Keyboard Warrior Azzy Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Azzy for Keyboard Warrior is Tom Ace. Tom Ace is your winner of the Azzy Awards. As soon as YouTube shows me the final standings, I'll update them. Tom Ace, 37%. Chris B, 34%. Rich 21 and Bill M6. Congrats to Tom Ace. I've actually met Tom in real life. He's a great man. But on this chat, on this show, he's only in the chat. So well-deserved for Tom. And once again, congrats to all the nominees. If you're nominated for an Azzy, you're doing something right, because it's not easy. Think about the amount of shows I do, the amount of calls I take, and the amount of excellent, excellent people who call in and make this show the show it's become. On that note, we are done. Finito. It's all over. I end the show with one clip that needs to be played. It's a clip that many of you have been wondering, Jake, when are you going to play it? And the answer is right now. So stop what you're doing. If there's small children around, don't let them watch, because if they are around, they might be mortified. On that note, go Jets. We're back tomorrow with 2 shows. And listen to me tonight on ESPN New York from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. ESPN New York, the app, or 880 a.m. Have a good one, everybody. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
It's time for paying Charles to shave.
What the hell? You started already?
Well,
You're
you
supposed to
were-
do it on the air when I introduce you. What are you doing?
Shaving.
You were not supposed to start yet.
Sorry.
You're supposed to shave on the show. If you started shaving before the show, that doesn't make any sense. It defeats the whole purpose. You just robbed the people of the full experience, Charles. This is one of the biggest mistakes you've ever made in your entire life. People want their money back. This is ridiculous. Your pay's being cut in half. JQuest says how much to put him in the hole. $50. 10 memberships. Unbelievable. How do you look yourself in the mirror right now? Rick Kent says he's not even using shaving cream. No wonder why he cuts himself.
I am using shaving cream, actually.
How's the hole, Charles?
Great.
What you did is disgraceful.
Sorry, everybody. Actually, the hole's not that bad. It's actually very comfy.
Nick Sean writes in, does Charles getting in this hole mean he's still a virgin?
Yes.
You brought such shame to this community, Charles.
Don't know what else to say.
Is there anything Charles could do to try and get some sort of redemption? Dave Brigga says, shave the chest.
Fine, I'll shave my chest.
It is on you now to come through for the Asmaniac community. Otherwise, you go right back to the hole, buddy. Oh, good Lord. This is what the people want on a football Friday. Why are you doing it like that, Charles? This is how you ended up with a wound that we're still discussing weeks later. Up and down, not in a circle. Good Lord. North and south. I don't even think anything's happening. I don't want you to murder yourself live on the air. That could be a problem. I thought you have an electric shaver, like a buzzer. Is it even on?
It is on, yeah.
I don't hear the bzzz.
It's on, Jake. Look.
Shout out to anyone still watching this. At first, he was going like this, like with a circular motion with an electric razor. I'm like, what are you doing? Salem says, imagine this is the first video you stumble across. Oh, good Lord. Charles.
Yes?
What are you doing? This is what happened last time Charles shaved. Good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Here we go. He's using a straight edge now. Oh, this could end poorly, folks. Why aren't you using shaving cream? Don't use razors. This is not a good idea. Do not do this. Oh, good God.
Oh my God, we're gonna watch a man cut his own chest open and bleed out on YouTube, aren't we?
You're going too fast. Slow down with the straight edge, Charles.
Yeah, you gotta. No. Stop. This is unwatchable. Charles.
Yes.
You want to go like little stabs at a time. You don't want to drag it 12 inches down your chest. Now rinse the razor out, because you're quite a hairy little young man.
I inherited that from my father.
Thank you for that info.
He's going to get bumps the way that he's doing it. He's going to be itchy as hell tomorrow. I think we should cut it.
Charles, do you own aftershave?
No.
Well, that could be an issue with the itchiness.
He's got to learn his lesson, Mike.
And you know what? People paid good money for him just to shave his face.
That was a good stroke. You got a lot going on there. That was good.
Hey, now.
And you got to keep the razor clean out of the hair. You got to keep rinsing it out underneath.
Jake, how many people are online watching this?
189 people are tuned in live right now.
Go get it for yourself.
Looks pretty smooth. GTA, the fuck did I just tune into?
I don't understand how this guy keeps raising the bar on call-ins to YouTube shows. He is one of one.
Ralphie writes it. This isn't going to end well for...
Look.
Pretty good?
All right, I'm good.
Is that it, Charles? We're done right now?
Yes. I'm still getting paid, right?
Yes.
Well, because Nick and I are going to be... I'll see what I...
Did you just pinch both of your nipples? Stop! Stop!
It's a family show, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Eugene M. Gorman. This is what you missed if you tuned in late. How would you feel about this being our new channel emoji, Charles? That's a pretty big honor to get a channel emoji.
You have been watching Charles Learns How to Shave on the Jake Asman Show.
J-O-B, job.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.